Hey guys, welcome back to a budget Dralnu game. I've made some changes to the list to make it a little bit more interactive, actually, and to lower the converted mana cost of some of the draw spells. So with that, let's head into the match. So welcome to another budget Dralnu game. This hand looks okay. We have Intuition on turn 2. We don't have any. Well, I guess we have the Mox Diamond for black. And we have Spell Pierce, Spell Pierce early. So Nin, Tazri, and Jeleva. This is pretty much an all combo deck table. So this hand could be okay. We have the Spell Pierce to stop at least something. So sure. We're going third. Looks like. No, we're going last. It makes us a little weaker. But I think it's still okay. It's acceptable. Spell Pierce, Gush, Mox Diamond, Intuition. If you were wondering what's in the hand. I didn't quite zoom in or anything, so I understand that sometimes that makes it harder to see things. Exile Silence with Gemstone Caverns. Alright, a top. I'm not really worried about Nin or General Tazri as early as I am worried about Jeleva. Alright, Manipulate Fate is fine. So this table's a little harder to deal with Tazri because it's all fast combo, but um, doesn't mean a ton really. It seems like the Jeleva player is just holding up mana for the Tazri player's turn in case he has something. Um, the Nin player, I don't know exactly what that deck looks like. My guess is it's a fast combo deck with Nin as an infinite mana outlet. Whee! I get a spirit token. Alright, so the Nin player's seemingly going to respond to it. Which I'm okay with. It's something that's not going to counter one of my 1 CMC spells, and yeah, it just gives me, that's one less resource that Nin has, so. Okay, Preordain's fine. Alright, so turn gets passed to me. Ancient Tomb is good, but I don't think that I want to play it yet. I have no reason to. Next turn allows me to cast Dralnu. Actually, if I play the Ancient Tomb, I can Intuition and hold up Spell Pierce. So maybe that's better. So I attacked the Jeleva player because it does affect his ad-nauseam, and I think that that's probably my best bet, is to keep his ad-nauseam numbers pretty low. So also something that's on my mind is hoping that other people can interact with hoping that other people can interact with the food chain if it comes down. But I think that the Tazri player is kind of set back pretty strongly by the Imperial Seal being countered. I don't know what produces this token. It might be actually better to just wait to cast Dralnu for next turn and just not do anything else. So he's casting something for 5. I can't counter that with Spell Pierce, so. So, something I'm thinking about doing with this deck, I added in Winds of Rebuke. So I'm running Winds of Rebuke and Cyclonic Rift, as opposed to Into the Royal, and I cut something else. And I also swapped out Reanimate. I also swapped out Predict for Thought Scour. This is going to be an attempted ad nause. I like that less. Alright, so it looks like we're drawing a fresh hand. I tried to convince the Nin player to stop the windfall because giving Tazri and Jeleva more cards is worse for both of us, but he was not about that life. It did not really help us. Dispel is good, but the rest of this is pretty poor. And the lack of lands is hurting, for sure. Interesting that I mean, I guess he didn't have anything to do with his hand, so he needed to get new cards. I understand that. Uh-oh. Pitch hand, cast Jeleva. The beautiful part about him casting Jeleva would be I could just rapidly hybridize it. I mean, he exiles whatever are the top 4, which would kind of stink, but trying to think if it's best to play Dralnu here. It might be. It may have been wrong to slam out Dralnu with interaction in my hand. Especially since 2 players have 5 cards in hand, but it gives me my best chance at winning now that I have absolutely no way of doing the things I want to be able to do. So, yeah, I really need a land that would allow me to cast something. into Paradox Engine. A Mana Rock would actually be preferable. If I hit like a Mana Crypt, that would be excellent. Yeah, Mana Crypt here would be the best option. I'm okay with the Mana Vault. Less okay with that, but you know, I'm hit the least by it, so it's not that terrible. This actually helps me, because but he's got the Mox Opal. He can still cast Food Chain through Blood Moon, because Hierarch, so that's something we still have to worry about. But the Hierarch can't tap for black mana, which is a plus. You can cast any variety of dorks off of it, though. Yeah, so thinking about it, the Blood Moon actually doesn't affect us too much. And we can Intuition next turn is the goal. Alright, so this is pretty sweet. No one's attacking me. Means I'm not getting hit. So my Oz is still pretty safe. Alright, Jeleva's a thing. Alright, let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we lose Cabal Ritual, Frantic Search, and Yogg's Will. Which is pretty bad for us. We can misstep that, actually. I'm gonna flashback the Ritual here. I messed up that line. I miscounted the mana. That's okay, though. So top activation. I don't know why Triss is doing this recently. It's weird, like, sideways things. But, alright, so a dig through time. I do truly wish that our Yogg's Will weren't exiled. But, you know, what can you do? Snapcaster targeting Gamble? Alright, so he goes for Opal and misses. Which means that, Jeleva just wins, I think. So mild misplay there. Cracks the LED prior to forcible as the Yogg's will. This is excellent. Absolutely excellent. Alright. Trying to think if it's better to mystical in my upkeep. Oh, I don't have Cabal Ritual, so I can't mystical for Cabal. What can I do then? It's best to just draw then. I don't think I have a way to... Okay, so Vamp Tutor is much better. Okay, so we gotta wait. We have to wait a turn to get Vamp Tutor to work. Oh wait, no, because Vamp Tutor would untap the Mox Diamond, which would give us more mana. But we still need to draw a card somehow. We have Gush. That doesn't really work. Yeah, we still have to wait a turn. So what is this for 3? Yeah, we don't really want to go for intuition here. I'm gonna Vamp Tutor here. I will grab. I think Isochron Scepter. I mean, this works for me. So this is actually pretty sweet. I can cast all my 1 CMC counter spells for free, which is awesome. So yeah, I don't have that much to worry about right here. And then we can just strap anything to Isochron Scepter. So the goal here is to actually kill Jeleva, and then counter her on the recast, assuming that the Tazri player is not a threat. Obviously, I can counter most of the stuff that he's going to do too, but preferably we'd like to be able to cast Intuition. Looks like the Jeleva player might have a response, which again I'm fine with. It's less resources that he can use, and since I have an advantage in that my graveyard is continually reutilizable, whereas this is not, I have a little bit more resource advantage, which is one of the reasons for playing Dralnu as commander, is because it allows you to go into late game pretty well. Dark Confidant, alright. So we cast Elvish Mystic and Absence Pilgrim. So let's see what happens with Alright, so we know that the Nin player has played his Force of Will. We don't know if he has a Pact, but I doubt it. Alright, Soul Ring's fine. I think that's fine. Mr. Gamora is less fine. Yeah, I think I can delay this without consequence. And then we can just delay the Jeleva. It's turned into just about the sweetest control game ever for us. Let's Vamp Tutor. Alright, so we'll Ice Crown Scepter on Dramatic Reversal. Wait, we could do that, but that's kind of silly. And Nosing for one card is pretty sweet. That was a tough game. A lot of really tricky decisions, but we got there, so whew. Alright, so that game had a lot of key moments in it, and a couple mistakes on many people's parts. So I'll start with mistakes. The first mistake that was made was when I cast the Paradox Engine, I tapped out, which I didn't mean to do, but I had miscalculated thinking that Ancient Tomb still tapped for 2, but it only tapped for 1 at the time. Unfortunately, I'd already committed to casting Dark Ritual, which meant that I needed to do it at that point in time, or I would have wasted gaining the 3 mana, and I believe that was on a flashback. So that opened me up to a lot of vulnerability, but fortunately, there was interaction on the part of the other players to stop the Jeleva player from comboing off. That brings me to the next mistake that was made. The Jeleva player sacked his Lion's Eye Diamond before casting Yogg's Will, which actually hurt him, so he sacked it pre-combat thinking he could use the mana, but then he didn't have anything to cast. So that hurt him a little bit by making him discard 2 cards, but in the end it proved to be irrelevant. But it is a timing mistake, so it's important to note. And then as far as critical plays, I would say that many of them were actually my allowing other people to make critical plays. In this game, key moments were not spell piercing certain things. But I'd say that the most notable play was probably the Wheel of Fortune. While it's not my spell, it actually basically won me the game by pitching my hand and flooding my hand with counter spells. So when that happened, I was able to then counter the diminishing returns, which would have shuffled my beautiful graveyard into my library, which is not what I wanted, and then given my opponents another fresh 7. So, and I preferred to not have that happen. Once I had established Paradox Engine plus Mox Diamond as an engine to counter things, the game was pretty much secured. So, allowing the diminishing returns to shuffle things in cut off my resources to do that. Um, so that whole turn on the Ninja player's side was essentially what put me in a really good position to win the game. So the actual win in that game, this is kind of an interesting thing. So I had Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal, but I didn't actually need the Dramatic Reversal to create infinite mana. It just happened to be the spell in my hand because I had the Paradox Engine out. So it's a good thing to note that you can actually go off with something else. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but sometimes it's habitual to go for the card that you think, oh, this goes with Isochron Scepter. And then I had to tutor for Mana Crypto to make sure I could continuously untap and produce mana. Of course, from there I had many different ways of winning, and I chose to just draw my deck with Pull from Tomorrow, and just casting Adnos was the spice line. I had Gush in my graveyard, so I could have cast that with my infinite mana. But anyway, we ended up winning a pretty grindy game. I had to edit out a lot of stuff. It was actually 3 times as long as it ended up being. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.